the worst experiences of my life. That was so nice. Now I'm gonna drink this and then go to the market. I want flowers. Kitty.
Nicole after our show, and I was like, what accent was I trying to be and try? Okay, but tell me the highlights of Australia. I was very because I'm just gonna be honest, we don't make the same kind of money traveling because it costs so much more to travel. You know this. When we were here, cut to live. You're saying you make a lot more money than me. No, of course I do. But in Europe and Australia, remember, girls, we make less money. I have a suggestion. This might be kind of interesting. What about a anger lower? Because you can do that. Do you think we need to give? Do you think we need to look at my Jennifer Lopez? Like, what the fuck are they doing? Your Diet Coke out of your rhinestone cup. I saw. Actually, take a tea and with the Clover, and then you put it in a good vessel. This is the total. They're this. I swear to. And then she gets in her room and she goes, and then she flies away.
I've come to a rugby practice. Have I ever played rugby? No. Is this the 4th practice that I'm showing up to, never having met anyone? Yeah. Am I nervous? Yes, but not as nervous as I usually am to try new things, and I don't know why. I don't know if I'm like numbed out from my run. This is me before, and I'll see you on the other side. We're on the other side. We're back. That was actually a lot of fun, and I'm going to start with a negative first and end with a positive because that's how I want to do it. I understand rugby is a contact sport. I understand. But tell me why we were doing a lap. And this one girl's like, go, go, go. And like kind of pushed my back a little bit, then stepped on my foot and my knees hit the hard pavement gym floor. And when you're a runner and someone fucks with your joints, that was for no good goddamn reason. If I was like playing a game and I got a hit, fine. You know what? I'd be like, yeah, well, I went to rugby. Look at this. Do we see this? Do we see that? How the fuck am I supposed to do yoga? I cannot put it on the ground. So that's the update. Then the positive. I will say the positive. I'm so proud of myself for doing something that I've never done before. But like, I don't know, I find rugby very, very, very complex. So like, I'm just really proud of myself for going and being able to play a game. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. And supporting women is my favorite thing to see ever. And now I'm finally gonna eat. I'm so pissed about my knee, brother. I'm about to be so honest right now. It's currently 8:42 on Sunday. I, last night, got home, made the clip, got dressed, and I wanted like 40 or 50 grams of protein, so I made myself like, I had like a whole dinner plan, but that dinner only had like 20 or 30 grams of protein, so instead of that dinner, I made a fluffy yogurt bowl. So I was making that, and I called Michaela. We caught up a little bit, and then I watched Sex and the City while I ate dinner / dessert. And then all of a sudden, a fucking wall hit me, and it was like 8, maybe. And I came in here and I turned on Sex and the City on my projector. And I passed the fuck out at 8:30. And my whole body, it felt like I can still kind of feel it in my ears and my head. But it feels like, you know when a gong gets hit, but it's still like vibrating? Like it feels like like last night, it felt like my whole body was vibrating. My knees are a little bit better today. I did do 20 minutes of yoga. I had to do kind of weird positions because of my one knee, but I did it. And I was thinking I wasn't going to train today, but I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to wait on it because usually I would go right now, but instead I'm going to go to the grocery store because I need stuff for Brecky. She's so weird. I need stuff for Brecky. Then I might journal a bit, just take it slow, and if I'm feeling still really good in the afternoon, I'm gonna go. No worries. I was going to finish up my garden box today, but it switched up last night and it snowed and it's now -9. So I don't really want to spend time outside today, which is sad because I actually wanted to plant some things. I don't know what's on the agenda today. Hi. So. All right, let's go for a wee walk to the grocery store. I have been debating how to sit down to talk about this, when to sit down and talk about this, what to talk about. Sorry, I'm like fucking shedding so bad. But I think, well, I'm probably gonna make it the title of the video, so it's obvious what I'm about to talk about. And I've been very grateful on here that no one that watches my videos has said anything, which is like, I mean, it's no one's business, someone's weight, until like I'm opening up the floor to talk about it. I think in a way that's, I'm making a video that I wish I saw at some point in my early 20s, even my late teens. But yeah, I unintentionally lost 30 pounds in 23 days. And it has been one of the worst experiences of my life. Great, she's gonna eat when I talk about that. And I was gonna write down things to talk about, but I think I'm just going to, because Taylor actually gave me some really good ideas to like make really nice videos about this kind of topic. And I've written those down, and I think those are gonna be separate videos, but I'm just gonna see what comes to mind right now, and I'll probably sit down intermittently throughout this video if I feel like I missed something or maybe want to reiterate something, because my perfectionism wants to come in and try and do this perfectly and talk about everything I need to talk about, but that's just not going to happen. First, I didn't weigh myself in the beginning. One, because it wasn't intentional, and two, I have I think most people, putting numbers to things, whether it's your weight or calories or sizes of clothing or macros, I think at least for me, I just can't. My brain, it's really hard. The only thing I can put a numerical value to that doesn't fuck with me is my grams of protein. I don't know my exact weight that I was in the beginning. This is around beginning to mid-December 2024. I'm guessing I was around 149, 148. The last time I weighed myself, when I was I could tell I was a little bit lower in weight. I was like 145. So I can tell I was just a little bit heavier. Several things happened in the middle of December. One, I started step 9 in CODA. Step 9 in CODA, or any 12-step program, is making amends. And the first amendment you make is to your higher power. The second is to yourself. My amend to myself, I began at that time, and I just finished it 3 weeks ago, and it is 40,000 words. I cannot put into words how much of that was emotional surgery. That is emotional surgery. And I should say majority of my food issues come from emotional eating. When I looked at my emotional wounds and felt them and moved through them, yes, they still hurt, but not to an extent where I need to gorge myself on food and cover it up anymore. So that is like the first thing that was happening in the middle of December. And that is not a fun process. That is a horrific process, at least for me. It was detrimental. The second thing that was happening is I started running. And now looking at it, I had become so at home in my freeze state that I had become so unathletic. Yes, I still lifted weights, but I had no endurance. It was, yeah, looking back, like I just never really moved around at all, never really did anything because I was just stuck in freeze constantly. And I remember the very first day where all this was really happening intensely at once in the middle of December. And the very first day where I was like, I'm really fucking hungry. I can't eat. Like, I can't eat right now. One, I think some people will know what I mean, where I'm like, I just can't put food in my mouth right now. And that was December 19th, 2024. Yeah. And it continued to happen. I did eat. Like, I ate a very, very healthy breakfast every morning. For sure, 100% I would eat my breakfast. Because that was the one time in the day where my brain, where the emotional surgery wasn't at the forefront of my brain. And also at least when I run, like I can't eat like 2 or 3 hours before. Like every time I get really bad acid reflux, I vomit. And also after a run, it depends how long of a run, but sometimes it can take me up to an hour before I can actually eat again. Anyway, so there was this pocket of time in the morning where I could eat, and I ate very good. But yeah, at the end of the day, I was starting to feel the hunger. Like, honestly, it was too close to bed too. That was another element. I was like, this is too close to bed. And I was writing my amend to myself every night. Every fucking night I was writing this, and I was running every day. And I think the running really helped me get through the emotional surgery of it all, because there's something about running where there's moments when you're running, you're like, I fucking can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. But somehow your body still continues to put one foot in front of the other. And that is that feeling of overcoming that immense amount of pain and moving forward. It's so healing for me. And I think that I needed that to get through my amend to myself, to prove to myself you can keep putting one foot in front of the other. I would say sometime after Christmas, not too long after, one morning, because this was happening every night. And that's why like the first thing I did in the morning was eat, because I'm like, I can eat now. And like most people, I do have an eating disorder. Like, and I will say this to the end of time, but I think women and femmes, our Roman Empire is the need to be skinny and pretty. I will never stop thinking about it. It's soul sucking. So when this was happening, I was like trying to gaslight myself into thinking, your eating disorder's flaring up. Your eating disorder's flaring up. But I was going through a spiritual purge. I was going through a fucking purge. And it wasn't fun. So like I was trying to say, sometime probably around like 28th of December, I got up one morning and I was like, something feels weird. Like, what's going on? I was like, got my breakfast, moved around a little bit. And then I realized my thighs weren't touching. And for that to happen in less than 10 days, I was like, oh, fuck. And then I had a period coming up, like I think a day or two after that. I was like, if I get my period, I'm still in the green light. I was gaslighting. I'm like, I'm still in the green light. I'm good. I did get my period. But then it continued. But I kept writing this amend. Like I kept doing it. Then I noticed a difference in my clothes. And when I've spent like decent money on clothes. So when they don't fit me, like I'm upset. Like that was another upsetting thing. Now, I guess I'll go more into like January, February to now. I haven't got a period since. And that is how I know that it's unhealthy to lose that amount of weight in that amount of time regardless. But my body is screaming at me we're not okay, especially because 20 pounds to someone on my frame is probably could be 40 pounds to someone on a different frame, or like it was a significant percentage of my body weight that my body's like, hey, are we dying? We're dying. So I still haven't got my period. I have an appointment with my naturopath on the 31st to try and work through this. Something that, like, when I came back to Montreal in January and that was the first time I got on the scale. That was the first time I got on the scale, was when I came back to Montreal, because I'm like, I don't like to weigh myself, but if I know I might have to see my naturopath at the end of this, or a doctor, and they're gonna ask my weight. And I did also for myself, because I wanted to weigh myself at the beginning of the week and the end of the week, and if I lost any more than 2 pounds, I was going to not run. Because you should not be losing, like, 2 pounds is a lot to lose in a week. So I had to do it. Really fucking hated it. Hey, I was miserable. Every morning I had to get up and weigh myself. I literally was sobbing. I didn't want to step on that scale. So the first time I stepped onto the scale in January, I was 125. And I knew I was 150. Like, I knew I was 150 at the beginning of this, and this was only January 3rd. And mind you, I was probably like 150-ish on December 19th. I was so scared. I did weigh myself at the end of that week and the week after that, and I lost like 1.5 pounds. So I was like, okay, we're leveling out now. And I should also say that the weight I am at now is what I was from like age... Okay, I hit puberty at 8. I got my period at 8. So mind you, I was this height, this weight at age like 12. Honestly, 12. So I've been like 120 from like age 12 to like 21. So this is a weight I've been at, I've operated at for majority of my life. Then 2 things started to happen. One, I'm like, okay, when we sit down to eat, to be so much more mindful and intentional. And I find that I'm no longer, like, how should I say this? The dopamine hit I would get from sitting down after a really hard day with a big bowl of pasta, like a massive bowl of pasta, was not healthy. And just kind of like similar to codependency, when you have an addiction to food or you're codependent, to be sober, you have to either not eat ever or not talk to people ever if you're codependent, and that's just not how it's going to work. That's why I think these 2 addictions are very gray area, very difficult to navigate. And I found that the endorphins that would hit from a run would last so much longer and feel so much better that since, knock on fucking wood, I have not craved that dopamine hit from a starchy bowl of carbs. That insulin spike on my blood sugar. Like, I don't have that coma after I eat anymore. So one thing I started to work on was like intentional eating, and noticing it's so much better now. It's so much easier. But like the first couple of times I was so intentional, I sat down to eat, of like, are we emotional right now? Like, why are we eating? Are we actually hungry? It was so difficult. Like, I'm actually gonna cry. Like, it was so hard. But now it's like, even this morning I had breakfast and I was like just savoring every bite and like being really present when I was eating. Yeah, I feel like there's more to say about the eating thing, but nothing's coming to mind right now. So I might just, whatever. I'll sit down again if anything comes to mind about the eating thing, because I also think it's like a very open-ended thing that I'm still working on. The second thing that started to happen was my cousin, who is a trainer, told me about Zone 2 training. You can look it up. I'm not going to go into it too much, but basically it's like keeping your heart rate between the 60 percentile and the 70 percentile while you are, in my case, running, whatever physical exercise. And it's this zone of your heart rate helps you build endurance, heart health. And I mean, if you are intentionally losing weight, this is what burns fat. This is what dips into your fat stores. But like, I wanted to build endurance. I think this is when I decided like I'm going to run a half marathon. As someone who's never been a runner, that is, I think that started to happen, and then the eating, and like that's where this journey has now gone, which is like, I think why I feel more comfortable sitting down with it, because I do have a happier ending with this. Because when I was losing the weight, it was not a good time. I've talked to Taylor, who has gone through her own weight loss, and I've other girlfriends that have gone through their own weight loss, and I'm like, is it just me, or do y'all also, when that happened, did you go through like the emotional, tumultuous, horrendous time? And they're like, yeah, And I'm like, why the fuck is no one talking about this? And Taylor made such a good point. She's like, it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. If you talked about all levels of weight loss, it wouldn't sell. To the extent it does. And it also goes the other way. Like Taylor mentioned this too. Because like when I gained the weight, I was in a relationship with someone that was trying to kill me. And whatever happened in December, I finally let that. I think my body actually finally released the internal hatred and pain that I was holding on to from that relationship. I wish I had a video like this to watch when I was in my early 20s, late teens, because yes, physically I look different. My clothes don't fucking fit me. I am a different person. Like, I think, at least from the women I've spoken to about weight loss, you cannot go through weight loss like this and not come out a different person on the other side. Like, if you are not ready to emotionally go through some of the worst shit, because food does help us cover up pain we're not ready to look at. Like, if you aren't ready to look at every fucking thing that is causing you emotional pain, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. And I also, like, some other concluding thoughts. I don't think I was any less of a human when I was 30 pounds heavier. But if I feel how I feel in my body now versus how I feel in my body then, this is my home. Looking back at that, my brain was so cut off from my body. Like, it was not my home. I was treating it so poorly. I'm so grateful I'm here now. Would I go through that again to get here? I mean, yes, I would, because I deserve that, but I'd probably try and procrastinate it. So this is just my experience. This was not healthy. Do not intentionally go through the rate at which I lost weight. Do not do this. I don't have my period. And I'm not even like at a body fat percentage where it's not like the body fat percentage is getting rid of my period. It's like, it's the damage I did getting to this point. I bet when I get my period back, if I come and make another video, I'll be like, okay, now I'm more at home in my body. I'm very positive that's what I'll come back and say. I feel like I've been filming so long, my hair is fucking dry. This is a very triggering subject and it's just heavy to talk about, but I just wanted, like, I personally haven't found content about weight loss that talks like this. Like, I just want the truth. Like, just give me the truth. This is the truth. It's not fun. It's a fucking like surgical process. Like, if I could start where I'm at now of like looking at intentional eating and the running aspect of it and seeing what my body can achieve and building up endurance and heart health, like, I wish I could have, but I did need to go through what I went through. I'm not on the other side of it. I don't have my period. When I get my period back, hallelujah, like, I've made it. But this is something that I went through in the last 3 months. 3 months. And it's finally leveling out. Yeah, I can't find this on the internet, so I'm putting this on the internet. In order to have any weight fluctuations, there's like, I'm convinced there's like a 90% chance something extremely fucking emotional is going on, whether you're gaining weight or you're losing weight, because that's what I've experienced. That's what my friends have experienced. It is, and no one's talking about it because it doesn't fucking sell. So anyway, let's continue on having a great Sunday. The sun is out. Come, come. The ultimate side quest today. We need to go drop off my film, and I need to find Cappuccino Siggi's yogurt. This will probably take me an hour and a half. It is 4:30. Let's see when I get back. Thank you.